Good morning, everyone. Been a while. Good to see a few of you. Got Vanessa out there. Got Viejo. He may join us here shortly. He said he's hooking up. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't been doing any streaming. I've only been debating what night to stream. I've had health issues. And it's not been a very good few weeks for me or month. So, but it's good to be here. Good to see you guys. And hopefully a few more here will drift in here shortly. I hope the audio's okay. I had to take the fuse panel off yesterday. I had a 40 amp AC fuse, double fuse, burn up. And it kind of distorted my plug on my fuse bus. So I had to file that back. I did have heat and air guy out here. And he wouldn't touch it because of that, but I did. I filed it and went and bought another breaker and got it going. So my central air is back. So yesterday was kind of hectic. But let's see. Give it a few more minutes. Hope you're doing well, Vanessa. Been a while since I've talked to you all. I've mentioned it before, but I'm most likely going to. One reason I don't really want to do Wednesday night, like Hasbro, he helps me sometime as co-host. If he don't, Mac does, and Hasbro, he's in church, so it makes it kind of harder for him to get on. So I may end up winter's coming, so it means Mac will eventually start at 8 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I could get one in at say 6:30 to 8. And so I may do a stream before Mac, man. I'm still debating it, and most likely we'll do it. Wednesday's just not working out, and I would like to have Thursday back, but that's impossible at this moment. So this is first time rare do I ever do a stream just getting up and waking up here. I usually do coffee, wait a few hours and get awake, and then come on and do a coffee. Good morning, Dan H. Warsaw Patriot. Morning, brother. Appreciate you coming here, Dan H. I'm not familiar. You must be new. Or Don. I'm half blind. Don H. You're not the one. Okay. No, that's somebody else I'm thinking of. Do you fish, Don? I'm trying to think. No, because you don't have an avatar or a thumbnail. I was thinking it was someone else, but thank you for being here. Got a couple in here. How you doing, Warsaw? Hope you're doing well. Sometimes, brother, you want on a panel and talk about a few things, you're welcome to. Always open for you. Oh, okay. Yeah, vision preparedness. Good morning. Okay. Yeah, I've been on your side chat a few times. Enjoy your show. Yeah, those preparedness shows are interesting. I'm a prepper too. I try to be prepared. I've got to become more prepared. I went shopping a few weeks ago, and before I fell downhill, and I found me almost a brand new, hardly used, I think 1980 Coleman lantern, and only gave $20 for that thing. Mint. And I was trying to think what else I got. Can't remember now. There's Viejo. Make sure our sound's working.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Got me?
Yeah, I got you wide open. Let me turn you down a little bit.
Okay.
There you go. How you doing, Viejo?
Good. Took me a second. I'm trying something a little different. You can see I'm out here at the bench. Usually I'm in the office at the other computer, and so I've got my older computer. It's out here sitting on one of my tool I've never tried this before. This whole computer had been sitting on the floor and hadn't been turned on in about 6 months. And so I thought, well, maybe this would be a good use for this guy and get out here and do this background instead of that boring office background. How you doing? They are
hanging in there, man. Had some health problems, but I'm getting better at this point.
That's good news.
Yeah, I had to air down yesterday. Got the AC guy out here, and come to find out it burned up a 40 amp fuse on one side in my breaker box.
Oh,
smoked it. We've had a lot of power failures here lately. and
Huh.
I suspect maybe a surge went through it. A few weeks ago, we had a storm here, and two tops, one telephone pole in the neighborhood fell over, and then the top came out of another one, and we were out of power about
Oh gosh, sakes.
2:33 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, and the power failures will tear you up in a hurry on your electronics and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I did unplug some things. My roommate's TV while he was gone out of town, I unplugged mine, but I'm pondering getting a whole house surge, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But we got a few in here. Got Don H. He's in Vision Preparedness. I watch his stream occasionally. If you all not familiar with him, he does. I don't know his date. He'll have to put. If you want to type in 1776, Don, for your show and put the time, you're welcome to do it. I watch his show occasionally. He does lives.
Yeah, I don't know Don either.
Hmm.
I'll have to go check him out.
I didn't recognize it because I know his channel, Vision Preparedness, because I've been there on the side chat, but I didn't recognize the name earlier.
We got Eagle Runners here. Vanessa's out there. Hey, Vanessa.
Mhm. Good to see you, Vanessa. Good to see you, Eagle. Hope guys are doing well. It's been a while. Miss you guys.
Yeah. Well, we've been missing you too.
Well, thank you. I told my roommate, I says, I hadn't been streaming much in quite a while.
Yeah.
And
So what's new on the vet project?
I haven't been down there. I wound up with the air out. I was going to go yesterday, ride down there and see. Everything's there. It's been there since the end of July.
Yeah.
End of July. So he's had time to at least put half the motor together. He can't put it all the way together because he's got to drop it in, with the heads and a chain. So I'm gonna go down there in a day or so and take some gas and just see where he's at. I bet he's don't have it in the shop. I can bet you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, probably, if you're not down there bugging him about it, he's going to say, well, I'll back burner this one until Elliot comes down and needles me over it. But, well, at least it's probably not costing you any money just sitting there.
Yeah. True. Warsaw.
Hey, Warsaw. Yeah.
What's he saying there? Heads up, Congress right now is honoring the 13 members who died in the poor withdrawal of Afghanistan years ago. Yeah, it's sad. That's a disaster.
Yeah.
It's in England.
Speaking of battles, tonight we got the second great debate with Trump and Kamala Harris. That ought to be interesting. See how that goes.
I forgot about that. I haven't even watched anything political this past few weeks or months.
I don't watch much on TV. I kind of keep up with some of the Second Amendment YouTube channels, Langley Outdoors and Guns and Gadgets and Copper Jacket. Those guys are pretty good at scouring the news and keeping us up with the stuff that's important to the Second Amendment, deal. So, but other than that, I don't watch much. I don't watch national TV anymore. It makes me sick to watch them. They're so biased and prejudiced against my team anyway. I don't know about the rest of the folks, but
yeah, I don't watch it either. I used to watch Fox a lot. I don't even watch Fox much anymore.
Yeah, I watch my local news, see what's going on around the neighborhood, and then that's it.
Yeah, most of my stuff is on YouTube too. I'll check news, even if it's the war in the Middle East. I'll check a channel on YouTube and see what's going on, or a few of them sometimes. And, but yeah, got a few on here. I usually wait till I wake up to do these shows. It's rare. I jump on here and bam! I just now ate my sausage biscuit.
Yeah, well, it's of course, we're on opposite sides of the country, and I was sitting here earlier looking at that next hurricane that's headed towards your neck of the woods. I'm going, oh man, but it's only a little after 8 o'clock in the morning here, so I just got done eating some breakfast myself. Coffee. I got my apprentice reloader lady is coming in. She's a range safety officer at the range where I shoot, and one day. She didn't know anything about reloading. She says, I see all of this funny looking ammo that you've got, funny looking meaning powder coated, because all kinds of different colors and stuff. And it looks way different from what everybody else is. She says, so what's the deal on this stuff that you're in here shooting? You always got camera set. What are you doing? This was 6 months ago or something. So I explained the whole thing. I got a YouTube channel, and these are cast bullets, and they're powder coated. We got them in basically a plastic casing that prevents further exposure to the lead and provide all that lubricant, all that stuff. And she
Mm-hmm.
says, "Well, so you're a reloader?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I've been looking for someone to teach me." And she says, as a range safety officer, I always thought I ought to know something about the reloading process, because a lot of guys are in here shooting reloads, and some of them are having more problems with it than others, and I don't know what to tell
Mm-hmm.
them. Can you teach me? I said, well, yeah, sure. So she happens
Yeah.
to live in the same town. We both live 50 miles from this range. So she's up there 5 days a week. I only go up there once or twice a week. So I said, yeah,
Wow.
here's my address. Come on by. And so we started at the beginning. I gave her an old copy of the Lyman manual and said,
Mm-hmm.
read the first 4 chapters and before you come back into the bench here. And she did. And
Mm-hmm.
been a quick study. So we've been through all of the different kinds of gear, all of the dozen different presses that I've got, and powder measures, and she wanted to see the casting process. Anyway, so she's coming in today here
Mm-hmm.
at 11 o'clock my time, and we're gonna go have some lunch and then come back and do some loading work. But so that's been kind of an interesting thing to do for you guys that are out there that are
Mm-hmm.
reloaders. If you've never taken on a solid learner, somebody who really wants to get it done. you know, Neighbors are always coming in, they want to take a look and see what's going on. What are you doing? Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, see ya. Yeah, but this one,
Mm-hmm.
she's wants to know it all, and she's got some gear. Some of the other reloaders at the range have gifted her some gear. She's got a press, and
Mm-hmm.
she's got a powder measure, and she's got some dies, and she's really got everything she needs to get started. And in fact, today we're just going to kind of look at a couple of different things. We're going to talk about the Lee's factory crimp die, because when I was at the range, what's today? Oh, yesterday, I guess this was. I've been casting up and loading some wad cutters for 38 special, and I had one that wouldn't go into the cylinder, and she saw me poke it, and it went part way in, and I pulled it out, look at it, stuck it in my pocket. She said, "What's that all?" I said, "That bolt got started in there crooked, and I didn't catch it at the bench." She said, "What are you going to do about it?" I said, "Well, um, there's this thing called a Lee factory crimp die that comes with Lee Precision's 4 die, pistol die sets. So, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
it'll straighten that out." And she'll, "Really? How does it do that?" I said, "Well, we'll work on that tomorrow when you come. I'll show you how that works." And so, yeah, and as it turns out, I had loaded those on the Lee
Mm-hmm.
turret press, which I really like. I like this old press. But
Mm-hmm.
I was using a different crimp die instead of the factory crimp, because usually I don't like that die for my cast bullets, because the cast bullets are all a little bit fatter already than commercially made, jacketed or plated bullet. So they're a little bit larger
Mm-hmm.
diameter. That Lee factory crimp die has the size ring in the bottom of it,
Mm-hmm.
which means that those things, they want to kind of bump up through that size ring, and it can swage the bullet down to a little bit smaller size sometimes. Doesn't always happen. But
Mm-hmm.
for a job like this, where you get a bullet that's kind of went in a little bit cockeyed and it's kind of bulged one side of the case, it's perfect. Trying to use it
Mm-hmm.
on this thing, you run up those bullets up in there, and they clunk up in there, and it jars everything. So usually I don't use it, but it's great for what I need it for this time. So that's an interesting concept for a crimp die to put a sizing ring in it. But
Mm-hmm.
for that particular application, it's pretty hard to beat, because this is a Type 1 wad cutter, so set down flush with the case mouth, you ain't getting that bullet out of there. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
get it out with a kinetic hammer, and there's no way to grip it with a puller. So the only way to decommission a round like that is take a little tubing cutter and cut it, cut the case, dump
Mm-hmm.
the powder out, and then poke the primer out. If it
Mm-hmm.
won't go in your cylinder, not much else you can do with it. Like I said, those things are really tough to take apart. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
What
the
what
factory
press are
crimp
you,
will
what are
fix
you
it.
using your ultimately
No,
Viejo? Oh.
I almost hate to say this. I spent quite a bit of time
Mm-hmm.
and money on that Ultimate press, and I don't like it.
Okay.
There was too many issues with it. I have got it upgraded with newer parts, and I haven't
Mm-hmm.
spent any time with it. since then, I got so exasperated with the way that it was not working. The
Mm-hmm.
turret would uh, advance beyond where the lockup position was supposed to be. Then Lee came back and said, "Okay, well, here's new parts. We're going to put a ball detent in there,
Mm-hmm.
as well as this detent rod, a pin. And between those two, it actually locks everything up pretty well. In fact, better than what the 4-hole classic press does. But
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't made myself get it out and use it. And I need to do that. It's sitting over there and I haven't used it. But the 4-hole classic really does pretty much everything I need. The
Mm-hmm.
the 5-hole or 6-hole and even 3 holes and 4 holes, you can do all of that with that newer press. I mean, you can
Mm-hmm.
set that turret up, basically however you want, however many dies you need in there, and you can put a bullet feeder in there or a case feeder, and there's all kinds of stuff you can do with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still only getting one bullet every 3, 4, 5, or 6 cranks. I get
Mm-hmm.
one bullet every 4th crank here. If you set that other turret press up, the newer one, the ultimate
Mm-hmm.
turret they call it, if you've got 5 stations in there, then you got to pull the handle 5 times to get your cartridge, your completed cartridge out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that that's necessary. Um, if I need bigger production, I've got the Dillon 550. Well, and I got 2 550s now. I got that one that I got for next to nothing, and rebuilt it and refurbished it. And I was going to do that and then sell it. And then I got to use it. And I go, you know what, this one, now that I had gone through that one and really slicked it all up, it almost works better than my newer 550C. The other one's a 550B that I upgraded
Mm-hmm.
to, where it's almost the same as the 550C now. And so one set up for small pistol primers, the other one set up for large pistol primers. And that's handy if you can. It's not that big a deal to change out the priming system on them. It takes
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes, but it is kind of neat to have it that way. But I keep coming back to this press, for my range trigger time ammo. And there are lots of guys out there who say that they're gonna, yeah. No, I know
I,
what that
I,
is.
I stripped my first plastic piece.
Yeah. You know, they they had this upgrade kit that they put out, and for that new press, and they said,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you want to do the upgrade with the little ball detent stuff, you got to buy it. And I said, oh, and really, Lee, you
Mm-hmm.
put out a defective press to 1,000 guys, and now you're going to make us pay to make it work as advertised. Well, then they put out what they call a spare parts kit for that press, and it was basically all the plastic bits and pieces. There's a little clutch system that's in there and a few other things. And they goofed up on their website, and they had, for the price, they had 0.00. So, uh, and since they've fixed that now, and it's like $15 for that parts kit, but when it was still being advertised on the website as 0 for the price, I ordered 2 of them. They sent them. So I got all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of spare parts for that one now. So I felt like I got them back a little bit. But yeah, this little guy, this piece in here, there's the little square piece that goes down in there. Those are supposed to be replaceable. I'll take that back. I have replaced that one. Um, but I got a lighting system on this one that's really nice. The
Mm-hmm.
light system, I've actually got 2. I got another little strip LED down here. I don't really need that, but the KMS squared,
Mm-hmm.
it's got kind of a little half round set of LED lights. Man, that's the cat's butt right there. I
I
really
need
like it.
that. I don't have a light yet.
Go
All right.
check on Jesse B Outdoors website and
Okay.
find his review of it, and he's got a discount code
Okay. Yeah, I'll
to
do that.
KMS squared. I like their products. I've got KMS squared stuff on most of my presses.
Mm-hmm.
They're not real cheap, but they're, I'm going to say $20 or something, and you get a power supply, and the light strip and the cables and stuff that you need to run it. Yeah, broke loader. Yeah, a lot of parts you can print 3D. Colt's out there. How you
Yeah,
doing, young
good,
feller?
good to see
And
you, James, Colt, Broke Loader. Appreciate all you
Hobby's
guys
hobo.
jumping in. Hobby's Hobo. Yeah, good to see you, Hobo.
Mike was had me drooling this morning. He just put out a video for a cornbread recipe that just looked killer. You could almost see him drooling as he's putting this stuff together. Man, that looked good, Mike.
I have seen some off-brand, I think, little square pieces for the Lee on eBay. I think probably they were 3D printed. I didn't order them. I just called. I think I bought 5 for 75 cents each plus $7 shipping. So I got 5 little square things coming
Yeah,
for this.
yeah, yeah. I have, I learned long ago to keep, spare parts for
Mm-hmm.
plastic stuff in particular because they go down. And there's pieces on the Dillon presses too. I've got this Square Deal B that I got at the same time I got that other RL 550B. And the Square Deal B, I haven't used it, but I got parts in to get that one up to speed too because it was missing a whole bunch of stuff. But there's a couple of wear parts that are in there. I'll call it a pawl, the part that rotates the shaft. Um, is a soft steel part and it wears out. And so Dillon's very happy to sell you a kit with those, and they're like $40 for the upgrade kit. But you either got to buy that one part for like $50, or you buy the upgrade kit that has that one in it for $40.
Viejo, this don't hardly wear out, does it? Most of the time. Okay.
No, it's just that little plastic piece.
All right.
That little square. Yeah,
Warsaw, I
kind
sent
of rounded and whatnot.
Warsaw, I sent you a link, man. If you want to jump on, say hello.
Got D-Dub 37's there.
Good to see you, D-Dub.
Oh, and James Pollard. Hi, James. I just now. I'm looking at my screen as I'm looking at you guys, and just off to the left there is my comments. And if I look over here at AR, and I forget to look at the comments.
I've got my camera right in front, so I can't see VA. I have to look at him at the lower part down here.
Yeah,
because my camera is.
I got split screen. I see me on one side and you on the other.
I do that sometimes. I just didn't do it this morning.
Yeah,
just working off the one StreamYard stream. Screen.
Scream, yeah.
StreamYard screen.
Scream. It ought to be called ScreamYard sometimes, huh?
Yeah.
But I never tried this out here in the garage before with the computer. So I've got an iMac, and that's the machine that I'm using. It's got a built-in webcam up there. But the built-in audio stuff echoes like crazy if I don't have a headset. And so this was actually a really inexpensive one, and it seems to work pretty well, and it connects up. But anyway, this is I'll call it my spare computer. It's a bunch of years old, but it seems to be working okay. It's not as fast a processor as my newer one. So I notice every once in a while I'll lag a little bit, and I'm on a Wi-Fi connection to my router. So it's not real high bandwidth in the house here. It's enough, and it'll sometimes lag. But I'd never set this up out here in the garage, and after we were kind of talking last night, I go, man, I need to figure out a way to do this live stuff in the garage at my bench, because half the time, like on Georgia, we're talking about reloading stuff and gear and equipment. What do you use? And I end up running out here to grab something and running back in. I thought, well, that's kind of dumb. I've got all of these carts. If you guys have seen my video stuff, got a half a dozen Harbor Freight style carts. One set up with my hand power tools, and another one set up that's just my dies. I got a whole Harbor Freight car. I must have 100 sets of dies in there, and a couple of them for my mold collection, and another one is all set up for my powder coat and stuff. And I've got this one here that I said, man, I got real estate up there. I could put that computer on top of that cart, and then I can move this cart around and put it wherever I want. I don't think it's in the best position right now. But so I was kind of happy to have the opportunity to get out here and try this and see if it would actually work. It seems like it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm seeing what temp it is here. 77 degrees here in GA. where I'm at, Northeast Georgia.
Oh yeah, it's
Yep.
well, again, it's just coming up on 8:30 in the morning here, and it's a typical summer morning here. We get overcast or fog most mornings at this time of year. And it's about 60 degrees outside right now. Here in the garage, though, I got 67. It didn't get that cold last night, so the garage didn't cool off. And the garage is not insulated, but so I don't have sunshine yet. No,
I am
I'm looking
glad
out through the
summer's
windows in
about
the
over with.
garage.
I can't handle the heat anymore. It's just
Yeah,
killing me. It's rough.
we had
I'm,
a
I'm
couple days here this week that got up into the low 90s, but that was the first time all summer.
mhm,
And most days in the summer go like this. We wake up and it's 55 and either overcast or foggy if the marine layer is right on the ground.
mhm,
The Pacific Ocean is only about 7 miles that way as the crow flies, so we get that marine influence here all the time. And then it warms up into mid 70s in the summer. We're talking July and August during the day, and so nobody here has air conditioning. The businesses will have them, the school secretaries get AC, but the kids don't.
Let me send that link again, Warsaw. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm glad the
Brook
cool
loader,
weather's getting here.
yeah, brook loader. There's some big fires here in California. The worst one's 500,000 acres up in the northeastern part of the state. We've got a couple other ones, um, but the wind's blowing the wrong way. We had 40,000 acre fire here last month, and that one's all but out. There's a few
Mhm.
crews on. They're still mopping up, but we had another one crop up. Maybe how far is it over to Coalinga? 120 miles or so away. But again, the wind's blowing. The winds here tend to blow from the west toward the east, same way the rest of the
Mhm.
weather tends to go. Um, but right now, I don't have anything happening here. I mean, we get little spot fires here and there, but nothing big time right now. So
A few weeks ago, we had winds through the neighborhood here, 60 miles an hour, blew over a bunch of trees, took the
wow,
vinyl off, a little bit of vinyl off my house here. It took two telephone poles, one telephone pole, actually two telephone poles out. Was out powered
yeah,
about 3 in the morning, and then I had power failure the other day. I'm thinking about buying me a EcoFlex
oh
uh, battery backup device. You can get them for low
yeah,
as like 500, I think, on
yeah,
Amazon. And
yeah. I had one. What did they used to call those? UPS, uninterruptible power
mhm,
supply. I used to have them on my computer 15 years ago because we had a lot more power outages then. But locally, our power company, which is Pacific Gas and Electric, has been putting more and more and more of their power underground. And so they've been
mhm,
digging up the roads and burying a lot of that stuff, and so that we don't have the tree issues with, because we get a lot of wind
mhm,
here too. And
mhm,
just occurred to me, Brookloader might be seeing info about there is a big wildfire down in Southern California, down in
mhm,
Riverside, LA area, and it,
mhm,
it blew up big time because we had this warm weather. When we get hot weather here, when we get a 90-degree day here, it's because we have what's called the Santa Ana wind. Santa Ana is actually a city south of
mhm,
me, but the winds blow from the central part of California, and then the Central Valley over where Mario Mosine lives, and they blow this way toward the ocean. Usually the flow is opposite to that. It's from the ocean towards the Central Valley over there. Well, when it blows the other way, we get all of that heat. The Central Valley is much, much hotter than it
mhm,
is right here where I am. So we get that heat coming from over here. And when that happens, we get some pretty strong hot winds. And of course, that dries everything out. And as soon
mhm,
as that starts happening in the summertime, we go, oh, fire up the plains, boys. Here comes the fire.
mhm.
And so
Yeah,
we got a
I have
we got a
I have
bomber
fiber
right here.
optic here, Viejo, and you all. And when my ONT goes out with a
Mhm.
power failure, I lose contact with my phone, landline phone.
Everything, yeah.
Well, I have to call them. They have to go in the computer and build the software. Yeah. So
Oh, geez, what a
they
pain
asked
in
me.
the
They
neck,
said,
man.
"Yeah." They told me I need the backup power, and I said, "Yeah, I know. I just hadn't got around to buying it. So I need to get a UPS and there's certain models of EcoFlex I can actually call it EPS. I can actually hook it
Yeah.
up to my ONT and
Oh, put it
keep it
right in the
going.
system. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably a
Hmm.
good idea where you are. As much storminess as you guys get, over there on well, anywhere along the southeast coastal part of the country. Guys
Mm-hmm.
are just really prone to a lot of storm damage there. I would think that would be a, a good idea. Of course, it's not free and it ain't cheap to go put it in, but once it's in, that not a bad idea.
Sent you the link again, Warsaw. Should be in there. I know I pasted it this time. Yeah, I heard that Santa Ana wind. I was watching something on Laurel Canyon, all the rock and roll people that come out of there in the early days of Laurel Canyon and outside of Los Angeles. And they mentioned that Santa Ana wind. They say Don Henley used to stay at a house, and at night it was on sticks, and he said he could feel the house sway.
Yeah.
And he was always
Yeah.
nervous about that.
Yeah, they'll get to blowing 40 to 60 miles an hour sometimes. And they're also called sundowners because they happen late in the afternoon is when they fire up. And of course, when that happens, it's already late in the afternoon, dark is almost there, and now the fire bombers can't fly because they can't fly at night. And so it's a bad situation in Southern California. We hear Santa Ana winds, and it's usually late summer, early fall when they show up. And boy, they just howl, and they're hot, and they dry everything out in front of them.
Let me check. Whoa, I'm having a hard time getting Warsaw email. No, he ain't got it yet.
And
I mean, dang.
Broke Loader says he builds a solar generator.
Let's see.
Just not hard, just another wormhole.
I definitely sent another one, Warsaw. Hold on a minute.
Colt says,
yeah, I definitely need a backup here. I only need it for my router, and I'm just going to hook my router to it in my ONT on the wall, which is a modem ONT is. Let's see. Sent.
I can, if the power is out, which it does happen here periodically, even with a lot of our stuff going underground, if I need to use, and I've got my cell phone, which is obviously different than, because my landline phone is on the cable also. And of course, then that one's going to go down if the power goes out. But I can piggyback my computer or my iPad rather off the telephone, off my cell phone. I can share that hotspot or as a hotspot, and I can still use my iPad. It's not quite as good as the big computer, but if I had a UPS, which I don't have one right now, and now that you mentioned, I may be looking at one also. But then I can still run the computers as long as I can get power to them some sort of way. And I've got plenty of power for the iPad, plenty of portable power with batteries. My my Ryobi tools, or that's what I use for my homeowner grade power tools. They're not the best probably, but they're not the most expensive either, and they work. And I've got 15 batteries or something for them.
Wow.
And I've got a little USB charging station that runs off those Ryobi batteries, so I can run my keep my phone and my iPad powered up. And I use, truth be told, I use my iPad almost probably 90% of the YouTube browsing, web browsing, that kind of stuff. I use that iPad most of the time. It's just too daggum convenient.
Sent you another one, Warsaw. Yeah, I got a 1,000 amp Stanley. I bought it at Sam's years ago, and if a storm does come, I can sit and charge my tablets, and I can charge my phone and all that.
Yeah.
But that's it. Everything else is down. TV, everything. I hate that.
Yeah, I can't run anything else either. And
Morning,
there's all
Warsaw.
There he is. Good morning, sir.
Had a tough time getting him in here. Kept sending an email.
I'm not hearing any sound, Warsaw. You got sound running there?
Oh, you
there you are.
Yeah, thanks for sending that. Like, I was trying to figure out where's their email, man.
I think I sent one forward through Walter's thing.
You're good. But we're just living some crazy times, our government, state and local governments, everything around the world, and God knows what else with these foreign nations around us.
Yeah, it's the next few years are going to be tricky on the planet. There's just a
Yeah.
lot of stuff brewing, and to my feeling, this country, we don't need to get ourselves involved in any more conflicts. We need to get out of the
Yeah.
ones we're involved with now and pay attention to what's going on here at home.
I mean,
We got enough problems.
the only time we're supposed to be overseas was the exception was the Second World War. That was the only thing I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I was reading, the headlines past few days. Putin is rechanging his nuclear doctrine. In other words, to make it easier for nuclear war against us. Kim has got his intercontinental ballistic missiles this morning ready and locked and loaded for combat.
He's a warmongering nut like
Yeah.
Kim Jong Un, North Korea.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's both of them. Oh my God.
Honestly, I think we got bigger issues to worry about those nut jobs right now.
Yeah. Putin is a dangerous man, especially get him in a corner.
What's more saddening is we're fighting amongst ourselves in our country. Democrat,
Mhm.
Republican doesn't matter. We got to be focusing on the safety of our country right now. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I'm waiting on the little things for the press. Get that going. I won't tell you how I messed it up because I feel embarrassed. I was sitting here doing something, and I accidentally I got some grease on the shaft, and it went through it, and phew.
Oh,
Yeah.
just
And it says do
rounded it
not
off
grease.
a little bit.
Yeah, do not grease shaft. It says on
Yeah.
the lead book. And,
Yep. The only thing I do with this is right at the bottom of the. It's too far for you guys to see, but right at the bottom of the shaft down here, it comes down and hits the base of the press, and it clanks and it starts wearing a little hole down there, which doesn't really hurt anything, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I put a piece of Gorilla Tape down there, right where that thing comes down and contacts the base, to help keep from wearing that one little spot out. But even then, if you get to lubricating that thing, then it wants to spin around in that little square bushing that's in there, and it just rounds them off, and then they don't work.
Yeah. I got a little piece
you
of.
can still sit here and rotate these by hand, which is kind of a nice feature of this, because they're really easy, and they click right into that detent system. Works really good. It does have a little bit of slop in it.
Yeah.
But if you remember that when you're setting up your seating and your sizing dies, all those other dies, so that goes up to the point where it locks that, not really cam over, but goes up to where that tool head is tight, then it doesn't cause any issues at all. And I'll sit out here. It's just kind of a cathartic little press, you sit here and you got to put your own case in, put your own bullet on. But you can still knock out, around every 30 seconds, pretty easy, or even faster than that sometimes if
Yeah, I got Velcro down here like Mac on that shaft you're talking about.
Is it
And
the Velcro with the fibers on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it and every few months take it and put a new piece on it for that shaft, so I don't wear into the paint. But I like the little press though; it's nice. I'm gonna eventually take it apart and do the greasing like treetop. Is it
treetop flyer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing you told me about.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Yeah. I'm gonna take it apart and grease all the linkage and all that eventually. Bob Masavo. Morning, sir.
Yeah. The shaft on this one, every couple hundred rounds, I'll take a paper towel and just dry off the shaft. Because that oil, gets grody and stuff from popping primers and things on here. Wipe it all off, as much as exposed at the top, then you get the rest of it down when it presses down at the bottom of the stroke, and then relube it. I keep that shaft lubed pretty well. It's such a simple matter to keep that lubricated, and there's not a whole lot of other lube points. It's just the pins on the pivot arms and stuff really that need to be lubed. I put a little bit of lube on the tool head itself. I'll take and wipe I'll pull this guy out and wipe the edge of this off with just a Q-tip, and you can see after a while where some of the wear points are, and it'll wear around here where the ball detent is, and on these little kind of lugs, that's a little bit of a wear point. So I'll just put a touch of lubricant on there. And every time I put a new tool head up there, I do that. I lube that tool head up and then get in here and clean the inside of this out, including that ball detent, and that seems to keep that thing in pretty good shape too. But there just isn't a whole lot else to worry about with this little press. I mean, it's been a good little. This is the hardest part right here of using this press, is getting that shaft lined up and getting the lugs lined up so that it goes back on there correctly.
I've been doing the detent, but I may do it around the edge, grease around the outer part of the head.
Yeah, you'll see shortly. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of one of those things, the old mantra, if it's shiny, lube it. And so you'll start to see where there's a little bit of wear going on. And in that track where the detent ball rides, you'll see that there's a little bit of wear that'll happen there. Like I said, simple thing, if you got a little needle oiler or something, get in there, or even just put some on your finger and wipe it around. And those ball detents will collect gunk too if they're too oily. And so I like to wipe that one off, just again with a Q-tip, get in there and roll it around and get rid of any gunk that collects in there. And these things have gotten expensive for a long time. They were really, really cheap. You could get them for under $100, but I think they're 100.5 or 189 or something now. The price has gone way up on them, but it's been a solid press.
They're about a 189. Sometimes you might, you get them on sale, maybe 160 something.
But the bases are beefy, and the link arms are humongous on this thing. And and I haven't put a roller handle on this one yet. I keep threatening to do it, but because I like roller handles. This one is an older one, and to use the roller handle that Lee puts out for the 4-hole classic press, the newer presses like the one you have, the piece down here where the lever arm fits is angled. This one points straight up and down, and the roller handle won't work on this press. So you have to replace this outside piece here, and the little clamp. Those have to be replaced. They're not expensive, $15.
Yeah, mine's got an angle on it.
Yeah, this one is straight. And so what happens with the roller handle is you put your press forward and it hits the top of the press there. So, but I do like roller handles. They're a lot easier on your wrist. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna make sure that ball after a while hurts my palm if I do it for a long time.
Yeah.
But,
so, I have no problem recommending those little presses to guys who want to, get into reloading. And, we always say, well, a single stage press is a good place to start, and it is, but you can use this guy as a single stage press.
Yeah.
You just take that shaft out of there, and you do all of your steps at the sizing station first, if that's what how you want to use it. Then you take your turret and move it to the next stage and do everything there, and then move it to the next stage and do everything there. So you can still use it just like any other turret press as a single station press, should you want to. And then you've got the option of using it as auto rotating. Rotation.
When I go into other communities, I tell them, I say, get you a Lee Classic turret and use it single stage, and then when you learn, just then at least you can put out more ammo. Yeah.
And I don't know how many presses. I almost have 15 presses in here.
Wow.
And this is the one that gets used the most. I really like my Redding T7 press. That's beefy, it's strong, it locks up nice and tight with cam over, and it does a great job. And I'll bring that one out if I'm only going to do 20 rounds to go take to the range, because it's a new bullet or a new caliber or new this, that, or the other thing. And I don't want to set up a tool head for this guy just for that run. I'll break out the die set and load my 20 and then go to the range and see. And if it's a round that I like, then I may end up getting another tool head and setting it up, because I leave these set up for the calibers that I use the most. So I've got, this one is my 38. I've got one for 9mm, one for 40, one for 44, one for 45 ACP, and one for 45 Colt, and and 41. So I have a different tool because they're cheap enough. They're only $11 for the little turrets. I mean, you can't beat that.
I have 3 of them now: 223, 9, and 40.
And so, you get to leave those up, and changing them out is nothing flat. It's not like running on a 550 or 650 or 750 Dillon press where you've got to do quite a bit more work to get them set up for the next caliber. This is easy peasy.
Good to see you, Dale. Appreciate you coming
Dale.
in, man.
Yeah.
Bob, appreciate you being here. Broke Loader, all you guys, man. Thanks a lot for showing up. Appreciate it. Good to see all you guys. Let's see who else. Make sure D-Dub, he come in earlier. Good to see you, D-Dub. He's one of the regulars. Eagle Run. He's probably off working again. And I'm gonna be doing I mentioned the other day. Who was it? Oh, I know. I've jumped in Quest's live stream. I said I'm gonna go ahead and start assembling the 6.5 Grendel. The only thing is I don't have sights for it, but I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it and get it upper built here shortly. Probably gonna do video. I did video of the 223 core barrel, but I messed it all up, and I still got some video of it. But it just looks horrible. I did a horrible job of it. I never put it up. Plus I can't put it up on YouTube anyway because of the way they are. If they seeing me build a AR-15 platform, but,
they're going hardcore and everything.
Yeah. But it's back there. It's I love. It's lightweight. I got that. What is it? S1? No, R1. Aero Precision R1 handguard, which is the Picatinny.
How you guys liking our Rumble so far? Has it been working all right?
There's issues with Rumble just like there is with everything else. Here's the thing about Rumble for me. And most of the guys that I know anyway that are putting stuff on Rumble are also posting on YouTube. But if you post on the same thing on Rumble as you have on YouTube, there's very little reason for anybody to go over to Rumble to look at it. So what I'm doing on Rumble is I've got different stuff going on over there, stuff that I can't show on YouTube, like the loading and the casting. All of that stuff goes over on Rumble. So I've got quite a few followers. I got like 700 followers over there now. And I get as many or more views on a Rumble video as I do on a YouTube video. But it's because it's stuff that's not on YouTube.
Well,
right.
And it's not just that, but I've been noticing there's been other channels. They've been notifying to their subscribers saying, hey, look, this is the reality. YouTube's coming after ASMR channels. They're going after news outlets. They're going after the gaming community. I mean, it's pretty soon, and we're not going to be going on YouTube anymore. I think they're going to just shut us off, and we have no other choice but to stick on Rumble then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rumble needs to do a couple of other things too. They're real slow at getting notifications out. So if I put a new video up, it might be the next day or even 2 days before any of the followers get notified that, hey, Viejo put up a new video. And, where YouTube is instant, and Rumble needs to get there as well.
I used to have all my live streams go to Rumble. The first of the year, it all stopped. Even my videos would go to Rumble automatically.
Jamie's been doing the Georgia live streams on Rumble simultaneously with YouTube as well, just to kind of, I think more than anything else, to keep that dialed in, knowing full well that it won't be long before YouTube says, no.
I was thinking that I need to go over to Rumble and re-link it, YouTube to it, because I did have it linked, and it just, first of the year, Man's disappeared too, and all of a sudden it quit. So I need to go over there and redo it. Is what I need to do.
Yeah.
I'll get around to that. So
it's been a rough 2 years apart from YouTube, but like just the gun community itself, it's kind of disgusting when I've run into with some of the people, how they treat each other. It's like, you guys are no different than how the left's been treating us.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, the gun community is literally a self-eating snake. Yeah. People that have their own intentions, their own agendas, and their own profit making.
Yeah.
Bad.
I got you.
Yeah. Bob,
Definitely.
on my Rumble channel, it's just Walter Bunning, all run together as one word.
I have one over there. Like I say, I don't send anything new over there. I had a guy comment the other day on one of my video, Corvette video I put up a long time ago. Did a comment,
I mean,
and I went over and looked at it. But
yeah, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. Just I got to ask you guys this: what gives you motivation to keep posting videos and content? I mean, I know it's apart from your enjoyment and also as a not just a hobby, but what do you get out of doing it? Even though you feel like you're just motivated and grinded down by the community itself and people around you.
That for me, that's pretty much it. Warsaw is, well, for one thing, I really enjoy what I do. I enjoy the bullet casting. There's no way that saves me any money. I've got 250 bullet molds over there in that cart, that I paid probably an average of $50 a piece for. So that there's no way that I can justify that financially. It's a hobby. And I enjoy interacting with, guys like yourself and AR over here and all the folks over there in the side chat. I consider all those people our friends. And I really like to share what I know with everybody else, because as soon as I do that, then I start getting information back. Folks are commenting and I'm learning, at a fairly high rate of speed too from everybody else. So, even though I've been at this for a long time, I don't know everything, and I know that I don't know everything, and the sport and the industry and the hobbies, change so quickly these days with our levels of technology that it's hard to keep up without having this interaction. And so if I'm learning stuff from the community, I feel like I ought to be contributing as well if I can, and I have the wherewithal to do it. I'm retired. I got the time, and doing the video stuff too keeps me motivated to get out and shoot, because it's gotten to be a big deal. I used to have a local range here, the indoor range, but they've pretty much killed themselves. And so now I got to go 50 miles to the range, which I don't mind doing. And I do it once or twice a week, but that's, it gets to be pricey and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I like doing that. And it gets me out of the house. I got other things that get me out of the house too. But that gives me some stuff to think about, some things to plan for. I'm supposed to have a video out every Friday on Rumble, and then, not supposed to, but I try to, and I better get cooking on this. I haven't even made the ammo for it yet. You know what I'm saying? So, so there's that little bit of a driving impetus there that kind of I use to poke myself to, get off my butt and get something done. So
talking about YouTube and the gun community, sometimes it gets discouraging on here, especially when you stream for years, your spot gets taken over, this, that, and the other. Not that I'm griping about it, because this is what's done is done. But after a while, you run out of places to stream, or time slots to stream. That's been annoying and very discouraging to me at times. But I enjoy seeing and talking to the guys. I just go ahead and try to keep going. Yeah.
Well, and as you know, I lost a channel completely, and had to kind of restart, and it's okay. I get it. YouTube has their rules, but they're trying hard to get rid of us shooters, casters, and reloaders altogether. They don't like us being there. I know, but and I haven't ever streamed myself. I keep threatening to, but I got to give it a try one of these days. I mean, I would kind of like to be able to do it, and do it on Rumble, and do stuff like live stream a bullet casting session. We used to be able to do that on YouTube. We can't do much of any of that. You can't handle a firearm, of course, on a live stream on YouTube, but you can on Rumble. So,
and now it's dangerous. I'll add to that. I'm not trying to cut you off, but now you can't even name a product. They'll just shut off your video if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're picky. So
but it just part of the issue I have is not just the gun community; it's also the political aspect. I mean, we've never seen it get this bad like years ago until now, and it's not so saddening. It's just you're not getting burned out, but you're getting close to the point where you just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. There's Bama Dad. Hey, Mark, how you doing today? You're not all that late. It's early somewhere. It's early
Hey.
somewhere.
Afternoon, Bama Dad. 11:55 here in the East Coast.
But no, I like the aspect of just getting out of the house, do something you enjoy, and just just get out of your house because you can't be cooped up in a house for all point.
Yeah.
I'm retired. It drives me nuts sitting around the house. It's rough. Cool weather getting here. I'm gonna start walking the neighborhood, doing my morning walks like Viejo does. I think you still do those walks, don't you?
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. No, well, I claim every day, but it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
The day that I'm going to the range, I'm out of here shortly after sunup, so I can get in the range early before it gets breezy or anything. Because it's an hour's drive up there. But those days I usually don't end up walking. And there's this time of year, one day a week, I go up to one of the local lakes to go kayaking and get some paddling done. So I usually, if I walk 5 days a week, I'm doing pretty good. But
as soon as I get my car, I'll be going down to a Gwinnett County indoor pool all winter, and I'll be walking the park. So I'll be walking the park probably before the pool, after the swim, and then coming home. So I'll be kind of busy.
That'd be great. Yeah. It'll keep you in good condition too. Colt had mentioned earlier in an earlier comment that with the Hornady lock and load AP, and I had that press for a long time, but it has an issue with the not the activation rod, but the primer seater. It has a little spring-loaded button that comes up, and that thing would wear a hole in the press base, also kind of like what the shaft does on here. And that was one of the things that I didn't like about that press. But what I did with mine, Colt, and I don't have that press anymore. I took it all apart and sold the parts and threw the press body away. I was not happy with that press, and I didn't have a good reason for it. It was just a bunch of little reasons. But I took a set of feeler gauges, for like gapping your spark plugs and stuff, that kind of feeler gauge, and took one of the thin ones because it's real, high strength steel, and cut a square out of that, and epoxied that down onto the press right where that primer button would come down, and that solved that problem.
Yeah, we got 10 on, starting to grow a little bit.
Yeah.
So how you been doing, Warsaw? I hadn't talked to you in a long time.
Just been busy, just trying to take care of things here and there, and like I said, I'm just trying to stay positive. Politics really ruined a lot of things. Yeah, and
I agree.
Of course, with all these bans kicking off everywhere, it's not helping.
Yeah. Where are you located, Warsaw?
Midwest Indiana.
Okay.
But no, I'm taking a serious breather because everything going on, it's not been easy.
Yeah, it's discouraging. I don't even hardly watch the news like what I said earlier. I used to follow politics a lot. I don't even hardly. I mean, I'll read an article here and there, and I'll see it on YouTube.
It's not just the politics; it's the level of not devoting and loving and caring for one another in the gun community. It's just sad. It's like, all right, just move to your next state over. That doesn't really solve this shit. Next, it's just going to come over to the next state over the next 5 years or less.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've got to. Yeah, we need to get a more supportive Supreme Court, and we need to get rid of some of the judges in our district courts. Either they're the ones that are throwing darts at us out here in California right now. The 9th District, they're awful.
Oh, you're in Cali?
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for you guys out in Cali because you have serious good pro 2A organizations out there. I've been seeing.
Yeah, and I support those guys financially as much as I can, because without, we're throwing millions of dollars at lawsuits against the state of California for their infringements on our rights, and it's an expensive process. And without those guys, we'd be way off. I mean, the state government would be rolling over us like a steamroller on a new tar road. It'd be ugly, but it's ugly anyway.
Not only just that, but I saw, what was it, this past week, Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill where they were going to actually pay off reparations and also give illegal housing, and they said no,
Yeah.
we can't do this. So they had to veto it. They had no other choice.
It's like, are you kidding me? Where are you going to get the money for that? You know, in the
You're already
meantime,
in
we've
debt.
got, meantime, we've got, homeless and veterans and stuff that are in need of assistance, and they're still out on the
Mhm.
street, and we're giving, you want to give these illegals a free place to live, free money, free phones, free medical, all that kind of stuff, and you won't help these citizens? Give me a break.
No, I'm not trying to get anybody heated, but it just shows the level of incompetency, whatever you want to say. Just it's like, all right, you're going to do this, but you're not going to devote your finances where they should be.
Yeah, here's their typical thinking. They last about 4 years ago, they said, okay, not only do you have to go through a background check to buy a firearm, but now you have to buy a background check or go through a background check to buy ammunition. And we can't have ammo sent to our homes anymore through the mail in California. You can't buy it online. You have to go. You can have it sent to a FFL, but they're going to charge you for that, or you have to go buy it at the gun store. You can't ship it. So when we go to the gun shop now to buy ammo, you got to stand there while they do a background check. It's fast, but they charge you an extra $1 for that. So it's like, I'm considered guilty until I pay the government to prove my innocence, and that's backwards from what we're supposed to be doing here. Well and good, I guess, except just this last month, state says, hey, you know what? That $1 a month or $1 per transaction ain't cutting it. We're losing money on that deal, which is bogus. So we're going to increase the cost for your background check for ammo 500%.
Whoa.
We're going to take it up to $5 per transaction.
There's no
So you go in, oh yeah, we're already working on it. But you go in and buy a box of 22 LR for $6, now it's going to cost you $11.
Well, they
Plus,
can't ban it, so they're going to price it out of existence.
And that's not the end of it. They also enacted an 11% excise tax on all ammunition and firearms. It's like a poll tax. You're going to charge me tax to exercise my constitutional right? Come on, guys.
No, but I think California's bad. I mean, there's a lot of places like Washington State's another one that you don't want to be in.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking the state
Oregon
government.
too.
It's not the borders; it's the state government that's representing the state. That's the problem.
Yep.
And
So
I mean, good things I can see out of California happening, and also my neighbors in the state of Illinois, believe it or not, they're dealing with the ban, and there's a high chance it's actually going to get to the desks of the Supreme Court. And I think Clarence Thomas and the others are going to pick it up, saying, either you follow this, or we're going to go hardball against you judges in the Seventh Circuit, because the Seventh Circuit doesn't apply it to how the law says. It's their ass. And Judge Brennan, who's in the Seventh District, even called Judge Wood and Judge Easterbrook out for not following to begin with. So it's going to be interesting how that's going to play out.
yeah,
I used to stream to Twitter, Hobo, and then they supposedly I got to pay now, I think, to
Twitter.
To stream to Twitter. But I used to stream to it all the time.
But no, just like I said, just all these bans and everything, it's really getting ridiculous at this point.
yeah. It's we just got to keep hammering away until we can get a friendlier national government and Supreme Court. We're not too far off from being where we need to be with the Supreme Court of the U.S. with SCOTUS. We got a couple of good judges in there, but we need a couple more and start getting rid of some of these crazy bans and get the rest of the country to wake up and say, yeah, let's go look at the evidence that shows where all of these bans and quote controls that you're putting in place. Let's look at some evidence and see what they've done, to protect or prevent crime. And the answer is goose eggs. You haven't done diddly,
Yeah, and also the fact though is now we got Bruin, NYSERPA versus Bruin out of the New York District. Since that has applied since 2020, was it 2022 or 2023?
Yep, 22.
The federal and the state governments now have to follow it, because they pretty much said, any state law has to have an historical text and analog that has to back it up on the books. If there is no historical text or analog, it has to be removed.
Right. But
Let's address this.
But what California does is they say that the heck with that. We're gonna enact these laws anyway. You don't like it, sue us. And so, we sue, and then it goes to a district court, and the district court says, the people are right. You can't do this. So then, California government says, well, give us a stay on that while we appeal. Well, they get the appeal in place, and then it takes another year to get that through, and then the ninth district says, no, you can't do that. Well, we're going to appeal it again to the Supreme Court, and it's 2 years before before it gets settled. And they've gone, gee, Minnie, come on, guys, just read the law and abide by it like you expect us to do.
It's all about feelings on their end.
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise it by my dad shipping weapon guns.
I would not do that. That's federal. Something I would never.
Especially UPS, because they doing all kinds of guns now, barrels, parts. They can destroy them. The UPS.
Oh yeah,
they're woke.
Not an FFL. You cannot post the firearm playbook. You cannot do that.
Yeah, no.
I don't even use UPS.
Both ends get screwed there if you don't go FFL to FFL.
It says, can those shippers ship a weapon to something other than FL for certain weapons?
Black powder we can do. I can go buy a black powder firearm off of Midway and have it shipped right to the house.
But no,
for some reason, they don't care about that.
But no, it's just, as far as the 2A community is concerned, it's like I would like to see more unity and love and respect and more patriotism. It's just so divided from what I've seen over the past 7 years, and I wish we could actually just come together. Look, I don't care what state or background you're from or what politics you're dealing with. We're in this together as one home and one country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, AR, I appreciate you having me on here, especially just the people we've known over the years and the friendships we've had and people we've known. That's the greatest thing we've actually made over the years.
Yeah, I agree, Warsaw. Yeah, but you're welcome, man. Come on here anytime. You know that. I enjoy having you on. Sometimes I don't like getting into politics, but we do need to cover it occasionally, especially when the way it affects us. And I do, even in my live streams, you'll hear me mention it occasionally, even with Mac. I'll touch on this and then I'll drop it. Yeah, but I do try to touch on it occasionally.
But and I'm not trying to be negative or bring people down, but I'm trying to show in a positive light side we're in this together.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely.
And we can get bogged down really easy. So for one thing, most of us in I'll say our community are on the same page. Pretty much. And so it's when we start talking about these things, it's easy for everybody to start, just going off about it and getting carried away. I'll say not going off, but get carried away with the discussion because it's something that is seems so critical to all of us. It does to me. I'm worried about it every day. What are they going to, what's the next set of handcuffs they're going to put on me?
Hobbies. Actually, there is a way to actually do that, but the thing is, the state attorney generals are some of the problems because they're actually supposed to represent you actually defending your rights. But if they're in the pockets of the governor or anybody that's in your state or even the legislator that are only for their agendas and their feelings, that's the problem. It's your attorney generals that are actually at fault for that.
Yeah, Bob, what happened? UPS supposedly, because of ghost guns and politics, supposedly started saying that anything that they suspect as a gun part or whatever, they will destroy it. At least that's what I heard a while back. What is it, a year or two ago? Something like that, a couple of years ago. So I don't even ship anything. If I do, it's FedEx. I try to. I don't like UPS anymore. So.
What was that other one? It's UPS, Postal Service. I know Amazon is out there. FedEx. There's another one. I forget what the other last one was. They're like for small items. DHSF.
Oh, there's one. Is it like direct shipping or direct something or other?
I forgot. It's a small one. I forget what it's called.
DHL. No, not
DHL.
DHL. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah. Sometimes I've noticed that I'll get a delivery that was shipped via UPS, but it comes in on a DHL truck, and I think UPS contracts when they get overloaded or something, they'll sub out the delivery to another outfit.
My dad says he'll ship a bad barrel for 1,000 and pray they destroy it. If you put on there barrel, do not destroy, they might do it, or barrel, gun barrel. They definitely would, probably.
What if it was an alcohol barrel?
Yeah.
Okay, Bob says they backtracked on that. Okay, I haven't heard that one, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I got to hop off, but AR, thanks for having me on, man. I enjoyed our conversation.
Good to have you on, man. We'll get you up here from time to time, anytime.
Yep.
So appreciate you being here.
Surround yourself with great, positive people, and always look out for one another.
Absolutely. Yeah,
God
well
bless.
said. Okay. See you, Bob.
Yeah, I've been pro gunning, shooting guns since I was a kid. That's all I know is guns. I was weaned on gun smoke and all the violent westerns back in the day, as they say. It's funny now you hear that parents, oh, you can't touch a gun. No, you can't watch that show. It's got a gun in it. In my day, that's something that parents didn't do. They would tell you to be safe with a gun or handle a gun. And I think that's another problem with this country. Everybody's teaching the kids that guns are just, oh, don't touch them. And you tell a kid not to touch something, they're going to touch them.
Yeah. Bob Masava, they're still doing that. UPS using the Postal Service. They'll get it shipped to a local UPS hub and then hand it off to the Postal Service to deliver. I see them doing that, particularly with small packages, something that's in one of those mailer envelopes or something like that. It gets picked up and swapped off, which usually takes another day in the delivery time.
I hate that coat. I did that too over the years. Man, they'll send me a thing. Oh, I'm a Second Amendment supporter, but however, I do believe in gun control and assault weapons ban. And I go, gosh, shut up.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of calls, and I still do occasionally. I'll call politicians and sometimes chew them out. I chewed out our governor here in the state. Called him one day for about, what was it, red flag law or something. Called him up, told the lady. I said, no. I said, I've been voting since Reagan. I said, this is nonsense. Okay, I'll tell him. I said, yeah, be sure you tell him that I won't vote for him or I won't give him money. Because I used to donate like $10 or $20 to all GOP candidates over the years. I quit that. I probably hadn't did that now in over a decade or so. But one time I did. I purchased an AR from Palmetto State Armory, and it was left on the front porch. Wow. Huh. Yeah, they do me that way. I got a garage, and I give them instructions to put whatever I order into the garage door, and guess what? They used to leave it on my lawnmower seat, my riding lawnmower out the edge of the garage, or they'll put it in the front door for somebody to steal.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Guys, we've been going an hour and 13 minutes here. So
yeah, I need to think about moving forward here myself.
Yeah, me too. Getting there, I may actually go for a walk in the neighborhood. I got to get my stamina back up. Well, I've been having vertigo again, especially when I stand up. Yeah, when I lay down, stand up. Oh man, it feels like I've been drinking a pint of liquor for a few seconds. I go, whoa.
Well, you might as well drink the liquor anyway.
Yeah, but I appreciate you being on here, Viejo, man. Pleasure to have you on. Pleasure, Warsaw. Thank you for being here too, brother. And you guys are always welcome. You know that on the panel. Sometimes I get tired talking to myself when I do these shows. It takes a lot because you got to go from one thing to another to keep everything going. When you're by yourself. So
100% Warsaw on that last comment. Yeah, it's not about the piece of steel and plastic that firearm is made out of. That stuff didn't come up with the thought all by itself in the morning, go out and do damage to somebody. It's the person who puts that in his hand. Yeah. That's where the problem is. And we've got a problem in this country with mental illness and, moral decline. And we need to get after that and start thinking about what we do to fix that.
Okay, Bob. Oh boy. It's been a good morning. I've enjoyed it with Viejo here. Appreciate being here. You want to plug some things before we go, Viejo?
Oh, we got yet another Viejo series getting ready to kick off here tomorrow morning. We're gonna, you guys might remember the Moldy Monday series we did. It featured a different mold every week for a year. Well, we're gonna start Wad Cutter Wednesday. I've got, I think, 20 different molds for wad cutter bullets with 38, and most people think only of 38 when you think wad cutters, but I've got them for 41, 44, and 45 Colt also. So we're going to do a whole bunch of wad cutters, and it's just going to be as a showcase. Here's what some of these different wad cutters looks like. And so we're going to do casting, and we'll load them up and go shoot them. And it's not to pick which one was the best or anything. It's just say, hey, you've been thinking about maybe loading some wad cutters or getting into casting, and you might want to, what would be a good mold to get. So we're going to showcase those. The casting and loading parts, of course, are going to be on the Rumble version. The YouTube version will be neutered, but we'll still show you the product and the shooting and talk about each one of those. So that kicks off the introduction on Wednesday, and it'll be every Wednesday after that. We'll have a piece of that. So, and we still got Free the Few going on Rumble every Friday. That's taking some of my ammo, that we're making from bullets that I've still got a bunch over here that maybe have 50 or 100 in the container, and I want to get those shot up, and because they've been sitting over there for 2 years and I haven't gotten into those jars of bullets. So that's going to keep on rolling. So that's what I got coming up.
Well, me, when I get my part for my thing, I'm gonna reload some more 223, and my brother told me the other day to do the 40. And I says, well, you need to let me work up a load and come over and let's go somewhere and shoot it. I said, I already know it'll fit in your chamber. I've already tested that, took his barrel out. So I said, I need to work up a load, Eddie. I don't want to just dump powder in.
You need to get out and do some shooting and get a little shooting video for us one of these days, they are. I
do have some. I was at my daughter's here a couple years ago. It was such a crappy video. Me, my brother, my daughter, a whole bunch of us shooting. And I said, I'm not putting that up. I mean, I won't go into why it was crappy. It was, but bad video. But I'm a little bit better now with video. I understand, to look at the scene, like if I go to a gun range. One time I went to a gun range, guys, and I turned the camera on. I looked around about 4 hours later, and my camera was dead. Oh, I said, oh well, okay. I forgot all about it. I got to shoot and don't even know what I captured. Never looked at it, even the video on it at the time. So. But appreciate you guys showing up here, man. It's great having you. I'm probably gonna stream Monday night 6:30 p.m. instead of Wednesday night. One reason Wednesday is because Hasbro can't come on; he's in church. Mac probably when he gets through with his third truck may end up coming on some.
He's been real busy, I think. Yeah, we haven't seen hide nor hair of him in a month either.
No, so. I've been texting. I think Viejo's been texting. We hadn't heard back from him, so he's busy. He's swamped apparently. Yeah, and. Tools.
Swamp is hot. Yeah.
I am also doing something here though. I'm going to wire my house for a Cat 6A or it's Cat 6 wire and put real. I'm going to wire the whole house with connections to the whole house. And,
that actually would make for a, kind of a good little video series because we're, it's connected to what we all do and use, and that might be an interesting thing to just kind of follow you along. A little bit here and there, and what did it take to get this done?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a network rack. I got a big old giant router, enterprise grade. So it's not just a wire. I got I could make a whole thing on it actually. And I got tired of the plastic stuff and the Wi-Fi in the house, and I got a wire. Ever since I started streaming in COVID, it runs through the kitchen, nails above the door, down the hall. Because I'm a guy and get by with it. There's no women here. Yeah. But I want to go into the walls, and I done bought my glow sticks, fish tape, and I've ordered. I've got Cat 6E Plus coming and Cat 6A Plus coming cable, about 300 or 400 foot coming today from Home Depot. Yeah. So I might do a little video of that. It won't be a great thing, but I'll do a little and end up showing you my. It's going to slowly unfold the network rack because I can't afford it all right now at one point. What I'm going to do is run the wire first, and then I'm going to go back and then buy the little connectors, do that, and then put the rack up, then move the rack over. I'm moving it into a little small bedroom closet, taking it out of my bedroom. And so, but good to see all you guys on here, man. I appreciate y'all being here. Yep. Y'all have a good one and take care.
Good to see you, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.
Talk to y'all soon.
Great seeing you guys today too, this morning.